you know, yeah. So booked it. Um, it was a few places that was questionable, like some ice, but honestly, the roads were kind of close knit, so it wasn't too much. Too much. They were close, like close roads, so it wasn't too much sliding all over the place you could do. Like you're either gonna hit a guardrail, or maybe run into a mound of snow. Potentially run into the person on the other side going the other way, coming up the mountain. And so it was like I wasn't too worried about it. I think the falling rock was probably more of a let me get the fuck on. Let me hurry up and get out these rocks way, because they just know what they doing. I'm in their way actually. I think that was one of my first mountains that well, I'm probably lying. I was about to say one of my first mountains that I went through a mountain under the tunnel. I mean, a tunnel under the mountain. But I don't think that's true. I think I had a few somewhere out in the Appalachians, coming across the Appalachians. So anyway, that's some shit. Um, fuck. We're talking about 12. Yeah. Oh, so by the time I got to the bottom of the mountains, I was basically in whatever towns. I know I passed through Sacramento. Yeah, Sacramento. Um, I didn't stop or anything. My goal was to get to San Francisco. My goal was San Francisco because I felt like the Bay Area had a well versed, I would say, um, LBGTQ, non-binary, things like that. I felt like they had a well versed or diverse maybe community of people who looked like me, maybe even understood me a little bit better. And so I'm like, how can that not be home for a little bit? Why wouldn't I? Let's do it. And so when I got there, to my surprise, I had so many different, like, what? What's happening? There's so much happening in San Francisco. Again, love the experience, but it's just so much happening. And if you're from the Bay Area, then you know what I'm talking about. just let that be. I would have loved to do my best to enjoy it. It was pretty tough though. By the time I got to California, honestly, I was tapped out for the most part. Trying to get out of there was silly. I think I did get one B&B, which disappointing. Let's just say that. The pictures look promising. That is, I think, where actually, probably my second experience to say that's where I learned to really dig into the reviews. I've basically become an Airbnb expert at this point of how to find a good one and what to look for, like particular ratings, things like that. I look for all of that. Like, I'm going to dig all the way up your ass before I decide if I'm going to stay in your space. I'm all the way up in there, all up in your business. I want to know the area it's in. I want to know all of that. Like, I'm Googling everything. And so, needless to say, this helped me sharpen my skills of getting to research and learn and dig into things when I need to. It's absolutely sharpened my skills with that. Cheers to that with some water. But yeah. So, it was just real interesting. Like, when I got out there and realized I was pretty much tapped out for the most part, I was like, well, let me figure out what I can do to potentially stay here, to be here for a little while, to just kind of like be here, be in the area. I knew I couldn't do Uber, so what was my next option for making bread? So I started going to fill out applications for like bars and stuff like that. So my backup was going to be being a bartender or bar back somewhere, doing something in a bar. And I was putting in applications. A lot of the bars were they really weren't trying to hear me out for real. Which was kind of disappointing because I really wanted to do like, especially a gay bar out there. It was really like, I was adamant, what the fuck, no, I'm gonna apply to all of them. Or it was either that or they weren't hiring. Most of them weren't hiring. And so I was just like, all right, whatever. And so I started applying to some regular shit. I applied to 2 different like stores, and both of them basically were hiring me. But my thought process, so I'm just gonna say it, everyone knows the Bay Area, it has bad, it's a situation with like break-ins for your vehicles. Like, so my car had all of my shit in it. All of my shit. So much shit in there. Shit that I didn't even need, honestly. It was unnecessary. Most of the stuff that I had with me was unnecessary. But I had a bag on top of my car. I had like the travel bag on top of my car. I had that up there. And also, unfortunately, the people without a home, or in Cali, that population is deep. It's deep, and so I don't know if that is the reason for the bad break-ins or what. But I wouldn't say the Bay Area. I won't say Cali overall. Just the Bay Area. The population for those without a home is pretty dense. So yeah, they there's so much to share. There's so much to share. Like, how can I not share this shit? I think I may have talked about this in one of the videos I'll post for some things that I captured and recorded and talked during that time. But yeah, the Bay Area. So basically, me working somewhere would mean I would have to trust that my car, my trust was strong, but I'm like, it's also, am I being dumb and also putting myself at risk by doing this? But it was like 8 hours of work and just leaving my car out here in the parking lot. That's just like asking the vultures. I mean that in a way of, be careful with my words. I'm not calling the people in California vultures, nothing like that. Or the people who break into cars. I'm just saying it's like putting a piece of meat out and just saying, here you go. Like a dead carcass or whatever it may be, and just basically inviting them to welcome them to whatever they wanted there. And so that's how I felt. That's how I looked at it. And I just felt like, I think this may not be the best idea. So I ended up turning down both of those jobs because it was like, what am I supposed to do with my stuff in the meantime? Well, I'm just trying to make bread to basically get out of here eventually. I kind of just wanted to go to like Southern California instead because it was like, I felt like if I went down there, it would be a lot less, like the situation would be completely different. Not only is there not many, it doesn't seem like there's a problem in Southern California, but also the weather. I didn't have to worry about the weather. Like California, well, the Bay Area gets cold, and in my mind, my ideal said the West is warm, and so I didn't consider the fact that the Bay Area got cold. I didn't consider any of that. So in the meantime, again, sleeping in my car, and it was pretty great. It was some nights that it got a little nippy, just a little bit, a lot of it. And yeah, there was a lot of nights that I questioned my surroundings. I went out to the center, the LGBTQ center. Everybody was very kind there. It was a nice experience. We talked about art. We talked about just what they do to support the area, different things in their community that they get into. I got mistaken. I always get mistaken for being trans, and that's not my situation. So I kind of just eat it, but try and like politely let them know that that's not what's happening here. Um, politely and firmly, like that's not what's happening here. Just like let's cancel that because I'm just a gal. And ended up getting, so when I went there, they gave me all these different resources and different avenues to go, which in a little bit I'm slightly concerned about the way that they kind of hand out those resources, but I'm gonna skip over that. But I got to a part of one of the resources where they were trying to, find me some housing. I'm thinking like, as I'm just putting I pay attention to patterns. I pay attention to like what's evident right in front of my face, and I do my best not to look over those things. And like it just dawned on me, like, you know how long you just stood in this line? You just got to Cali. There are people who have been out here for a while who are still seeking shelter and home. My boy, you're not making it no higher on that list than any of these other people are who've been here for a while. And so, like, that was my thought process. But I was like, you know what? No. There'll be ways for me to be okay. This is me trying to figure out how to stay in Cali so I can, like, get on my feet and get my shit together. And so, that was what kind of processed in my head. But I just kind of let it go. So I was in there and I was talking to the lady. And she was nice at first. And she was never mean or anything or rude or anything like that. But as she was going through the process and she was saying, she said, I have a brother who, my brother, he's running a place and he'll let you stay there as long as you want. And, he'll let you as long as you, she was just saying all these different things, all these wonderful things. And then she was just like, as long as you do what you're supposed to do. And I was like, do what I'm supposed to do? What's that even mean? And so I was just like, what do you mean? Like, help out around the house? She was like, just do what he asks you to do. Something like that. And I was just like, okay. So I just, what, I'm gonna, so she gave me the phone number. She was like, he'll call you tonight and let you know. So she said, you have a car, don't you? And I was just like, yeah, why? Like, what the fuck you need to know that for? And so I was just like, yeah, wait, what? So, yeah, needless to say, it's okay. We have a wonderful day. I did. I think she sent me a text message. I blocked that. I put the phone number that she gave me in my phone to block it. I didn't want no parts of that. I was saying, whatever else you got for me, you can keep that too. I'm just going, Mom. Hey, Mom. I need to get the fuck out of California. Like, ASAP. Like right now. I want to go. So, like, when I left that place, like, actually, before I even got there, I seen this, I think she's Latino, maybe. I'm not sure. I seen her in the store the day before, like, and we smiled and we kept moving. So then when I got into the place, like, I was just trying to ask about shelter. She asked me, she was like, I see you. I was like, yeah, I think we saw each other in the store. It's weird, like, seeing somebody like that in a big city like that. Like, to see them double that quickly on top of that. And I try not to, again, take things lightly like that. When things like happen like that, I'm just like, I pay attention. I kind of still haven't figured out why, because in my opinion, could have almost led me into a situation that would have not been the best for me. But again, I trust my guides. I trust the protection that I have. And so when I saw her, she was like, "Hold on, I'm gonna call somebody." And so that's when she called somebody because she was like, they didn't have anything in the place that she went to, but she was gonna make a call for me. And so she made the call. She was speaking in Spanish. I know she was talking about. And then so like she sent me to where she was going. So it was like down this like street. It was like this dark street. It wasn't an alley or nothing, but it was a weird street. And there's all these other people standing outside like waiting. And somehow I ended up skipping in line a few people. And actually I went out there. I was like, they just told me like I just had a disagreement with the guy. He was saying something. And so I don't know. Something told me to go back. And I'm like, now that I'm looking at the situation, like, why would you? After I left the first time, because they was acting like they couldn't help me or something. I think they were misunderstanding what I was asking about. So, because I thought they were misunderstanding me about what I was asking about, I was like, let me just go back. And so I went back and I was talking to them, and then they were like, oh, whatever. So they told me to stand in line, some other shit. And so I was like, whatever. The girl's name was Ramona. The lady who took me to the back's name was Ramona. I'm telling people business. Anyway. So I went back there pretty quickly. It was always kind of questionable. So when she started talking about her brother, I was just like, okay. Ended up leaving. When I left, like there was this crow. And that crow was crowing the loudest I've ever heard a crow. Like, mind you, again, we're in the middle of a city. So, like, this crow is on top of, like, this, I don't know if it was a church steeple. It was on top of something, some type of building. And it was just going off. And I was like, to me, that was just, like, an omen of, like, go. You need to leave, like, right now. And so, like, I don't know what those people's plan was, but it was weird. And I just knew I didn't want no parts of it. And maybe they meant well. Hell, I don't know. But it just gave me a weird vibe. Especially like those different, phrases and verbiage she was using. It's like, it don't sit well with me. I just gotta go. And so I didn't tell them nothing like that. I just, one of the guys that I met originally at the center, he called me and he told me they had a room or whatever. And I was like, you know what? At this point, I'm actually leaving because I just had some experiences that just weren't settling for me. So I'm just gonna get out of here. So he was like, he's under concerned or whatever. But anyway, I just hope the best for the people who, there's not people that's really getting caught up in that. If there's some type of situation happening, I just hope that business or that man is running his business with the best intentions. That's what my hope is for that. And I'm saying that out of a positive vibration, like an upward vibration, to just hope the best for that situation. Anyway, yeah, so I ended up dipping out of there. I can't remember if I stayed one more night or what. But I was staying like at this hotel that was kind of like on a peninsula or something. It was weird how to get there. But I was just staying over there because it seemed like it was out of the way in a way. But I don't really think anywhere in the Bay Area is really out of the way. It's just like all kind of just clustered right there. But we don't know where you at. It's just kind of like whatever. So yeah, man. Like I eventually, actually, I did. Like I said, my people are very supportive. So, I wasn't trying to tell my dad, like my stepdad. I wasn't trying to tell him that I was staying in my car because I knew the moment I told him that he was gonna be trying to find places for me to stay and stuff like that. And I was just not. I didn't want to do that. Like I just wanted to figure out my own way through this whole situation because I chose to do this. So if I chose to do this and whether I felt like I was led to do it or if I wasn't supposed to be, either way, I was doing it. And if I'm making those decisions, then I am deciding that, and I need to deal with whatever comes with those decisions. So there's no one else's responsibility. I'm working on building my resilience. Just growing as an individual, putting myself in situations so I can figure out how to get out of them, or either pay attention on being led and getting out of them. So, and even if not getting out of them, for one, seeing that they're not happening to me, but for me to see something. I'm paying attention to why these things are coming up in my life, when they're coming up in my life, things like that. So, yeah. So I wasn't trying to, I just asked my mom's, like, I just was talking to my mother, I was just telling her about it. And she looked out. She helped me get out of that situation. And from that point on, I was good because I could actually work in Arizona. I've been to Arizona and I love Arizona. It's absolutely freaking beautiful, regardless of, they have a lot of situations going on out there too, but I still love the area. I still enjoyed what I experienced there. So yeah, made my way out of Cali. I drove through California basically. Like that ride was long by itself, just alone. From Northern California to Southern California. Gas in the middle of California can kick rocks. Gas in the middle of California is about, probably at this point, probably a good $9, maybe 8-ish, but 9. When I was there, it was about 7. Yo, 7 something. I remember going in there and paying for the gas and getting out to the pump like $7. I think it was like $6.25. Either way, it was more than 3. Listen, baby, I'm not complaining about Virginia gas ever. Like 3 to me is good stuff. And people will be complaining, I remember gas is $1, something, $2. Listen, my nigga, we're blessed. We are blessed. $3. Listen, people in Cali is paying good $9 for gas. A gallon. So, yeah. I had coming through there, it was just like, I think I had to put gas in there once, maybe twice. But all I know is the first time I did it, only licked the tank. It was just like a little lick. So I think that's why I had to stop again. It's like, bruh, now I have to put more gas in here. Yeah, so, but I finally made it into Palm Springs. I ran to Palm Springs late at night, and the very first thing I did, which I said, and I could see them. I can see them just kind of like outlining the sky, the mountains out there, also massive. And I was like, I don't want to drop over there. The scary in me said, this is me. Like, my whole thing was faith and trust, no fear. The whole time that was my thing. But there were certain situations that were hella intimidating. And I could see the mountains outlining in the sky, but you can't see the fucking mountain because it's black as fuck at night. This particular area, like at first I didn't even see them. And then I realized that they were there, and there was like no lights anywhere. It's just straight road and your car lights and mountain, and then the sky, right in the crack of the sky at the top. And I was like, I don't want to go that way. Ended up having to get off of that exit to get to the hotel that I had put in the GPS. This wasn't even a hotel I was staying at, but I didn't know where else to go. It was nighttime. I didn't know the fuck I didn't know anything about Palm Springs. And as I got off the exit, I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. I'm just driving straight through desert and no lights, no nothing, nowhere. Just black. And you can't see no, and I'm like, what the fuck, there's no, where am I going? I don't even see no civilization, like where in the hell? It took me a good, like 8 minutes to get from the highway to where I was going, and a good 6 of those minutes was straight just pitch black. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I just said I want to do this. Like, what are we doing? And yeah, that was interesting. Ended up just staying in a hotel parking lot just to get some sleep. And I was supposed to meet up with someone that I had met online. And she kind of flaked, which was just like, well, what happened? It actually does not matter. None of that matters. All I know is that we ended up not meeting that, which it is what it is. I don't give a fuck. So, that morning we were supposed to meet up, but we didn't meet up. So I did out of um, Palm Springs and headed into Arizona. That drive from there to into Arizona was tough on my vehicle. Like, it was tough. It was hot as hell in the middle of winter. And on top of that, um, you're just trucking uphill most of the way. It's just straight up the mountain. Mountain, 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 mountain. And my car was, I think Bluey was pissed off at me, to be honest. We're just gonna keep it funky. I think he was pissed off. That's what he was like, bitch, I don't wanna do this. So I would do my best to like give them rest every few miles, or maybe maybe not a few miles, but when we got to a rest stop, we stopped. Both of us did. I act like I was tired, like I was doing all the work. I didn't do shit besides push the gas. He was doing all the work. My baby got through it for me. Yeah. So I love that song. But yeah, so we finally got into Arizona, and I was headed out to like Phoenix area. So I came through the whole west part of AZ just to get there. And I don't think it was really that far of a drive, honestly. It's only like a 5-hour drive from Palm Springs to Phoenix, so it wasn't bad actually. The timing wasn't bad, but the drive was rough. So yeah, by the time I got to Arizona, I don't even think I wasted no time. I unpacked my bag. I think I may have taken, I don't even think I took a nap. I didn't really even unpack the bag. I just got some clothes out so I could take a shower. And I went out, made some bread. That's what I did. Got some bread, put it in my pocket. I had bills to pay for, all kinds of stuff at that point. So it was go mode at that point. By the time I got there, I think I got there midday, probably like noon near time, more than likely. Maybe like 1 or 2, I'm not sure. I got there and I was just out there. I had to get something, but it was something that was obtainable, something I could do. And because I loved Arizona, I just decided to hang out there for a little while just to make some bread. There was so many beautiful things that happened there. I ended up getting a really decent job. Like, I was actually working in a bar, like I said I was gonna do. I was working in a casino and working in the bar in the casino. Fucking dope ass experience. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I was able to do Uber, so I was like on a come up in my opinion. Like, I was doing pretty decent. I was able to like have my Airbnbs, pay my bills, do all the things I need to do. Like, I went through a whole training for the casino, just all kinds of stuff. It was just a great experience, and I was grateful to a friend that I had at the time that let me use the address. Well, I don't know if that's legal, so I don't know if I should say that. Well, it was like basically I was standing there so I could get the job or whatever. And so it was just a lot of blessings that happened in Arizona. I looked at it as a lot, especially while I was doing Uber, that I was filling out the people, kind of filling out the area, see what it felt like in the area, what did the energy feel like, how do people respond to a person like me, and so going through all of that, like at that point, by the time I got in that job paid decently well for just a single person who I was honestly considering moving out there. That was a big, like, yeah. And honestly, once I get to a point in my life where I'm purchasing land, pretty sure it's gonna be one of the places I'll purchase land. But Yeah, I had gotten like this spot that I stayed at for a little while. It was like shit, an hour away from Phoenix. So when I had just gotten that, and it wasn't even like it wasn't an Airbnb. It was just like a spot to stay. Like you just rent a room, basically. I couldn't find anything really closer at the moment. So I was trying. I was kind of just like on a search for that. In the meantime, also while I was working a job, and I was like, okay, well, I do Uber anyway. I'm like always driving. So me driving from this area out to Phoenix, it's not that bad. Let's just suck it up. Let's just do it because this is what we have for right now. Look at it as a blessing. Keep moving. And when I was actually working a job, and I worked late. I worked from like I think it was like 11, maybe 10, something to like 4 in the morning, because the casino's open all night. And so that was my shift. And I was coming home one morning out in Arizona. There's so many other stories with Arizona, but we're just gonna just kind of like, I'm just trying to get to the end of this, so I don't have to keep you along with everything that happened. Going home one morning, and it was like a early Saturday morning that I had just gotten off before, and this truck, I was chilling. I put the car on, I put Blue in cruise control. We was going. My boy was rolling. We was ready to get to the house, so I could go to sleep. It was a long night. Like when I was working in the casino, like my feet were killing me because they wanted you to walk. Like you're walking consistently, like all the time. Like you're just going. It's never a dull moment. Even at damn near 4 o'clock in the morning, they're still rolling. So, that was the year that the Super Bowl happened in Arizona. So it was actually kind of dope. I didn't really see many people team-wise when I was at the casino, but like working those nights or whatever. But I ended up picking up one of the team on one of the Eagles. I picked one of them up doing Uber, so that was pretty cool. I mean, I'm not a football fan, but that was dope. Whatever. They were staying like out in this resort, like out in the desert. So I didn't know at the time I was gonna pick them up. I just ended up finding out. Anyway, I don't know how I got on that. It doesn't matter. So, I was saying when I get off, like my feet are hurting, so I put Blue on cruise control, so I don't have to do nothing with my feet. I just gotta guide the car, and we're just going, bruh. So I'm driving, and I remember I was chilling, and this truck, I seen this truck, like it was like miles ahead of me, and 10 in Arizona has like damn near 6 lanes. It's hell lanes. They're like way ahead of me, way on the other side. And I saw him when he like started like doing this shit, and I was just like, the fuck is happening with that? And I was like, you know what? That's not about to be my business. I'm finna just get past whatever the hell they're doing way over there, and I'm gonna move forward. And that was my goal, was just let them stay over there. I'm gonna be in my lane way over. I'm in the far lane, all the way over to the other side. And like as I'm going, like at that point, he wasn't even a thought anymore, because I'm thinking like we're not even near each other. There's no reason for there to be any type of interaction or for me to be worried about that, because we're not near each other. All of a sudden, like out of nowhere, this truck that's just like spinning across the highway. And I was just like, what the fuck? By the time I realized that I was the target, basically, he'd already hit me. He hit me, Blue spun around. He stepped on Blue toe, bruh. Like bad, like big bad. Stepped all on Blue toe. So, Blue whole right side was fucked up. Just fucked up. And like when he hit me, I spun around. I don't even know how many times. I just know once I stopped, the airbag smacked me in the face. Like I remember through the airbag, all I could see was lights. And so I was bracing myself for that because I didn't know what was about to happen. I'm thinking I'm on the highway. There are other cars driving towards me. Now, I didn't calculate in my head that those drivers are going to stop because they don't want to be a part of that. So basically, I pretty much stopped we stopped the entire traffic, like in all lanes. Well, I guess in all lanes. I don't know who kept going around me. But I just know there was a few lanes that were stopped. People were trying to get around us. Because that was really me that they were trying to get around. He was perfectly fine. Like, I think his grill was fucked up. But he was fine. And his truck was fine. At the moment, I didn't know that. I just knew, like, I didn't see nobody else. And by the time I got out of the car, I didn't see nobody else but me. Well, I didn't see any other truck, any other vehicle that would look like it would be an accident. I saw somebody on the side of the road with their flashers on. And it was just a guy sitting over there. And so I remember being pissed off. I was so pissed off. I was like, yo. After I screamed and then cried so hard, this lady got in my car and she was just like, are you okay? And so I was just like, and I was just boohooing, crying. My face was bleeding. And I was just like, I don't remember. I was just like, she was like, can you call 911? And so I picked up my phone. I remember finding my phone, first of all. I had to find it. And then, because I had it in, like, I had this thing that held my phone because I do ride shares. So I need something to hold my phone. And so my phone flew out wherever it flew out. And I just remember trying to open the phone and I was just hysterical. Like, and I'm like trying to, and I got the phone open. I was like, I don't know, ma'am. And I just handed her my phone and I just kept crying. And I remember being pissed off. Like, the fuck? Like, why would you, what the fuck were you doing? And so, yeah, he like, so she called 911 from my phone. And I guess, they sent people up there or whatever. And by the time I'm not gonna put that in here. I'm not gonna. There's certain things I can't. I'm not gonna just disclose it myself. But anyway, by the time the officers and fire department all that got there, I really wasn't Arizona, Maricopa County cops and all of you guys. Thank you so much for helping me on that night. I appreciate it and sorry for my attitude. It was bad. But he asked me if I was okay. It's like, no, I'm not okay. Fuck. My car is messed up. Like, I didn't even give a damn. My face was just pouring blood. I could care less. I was just like, no. And he was, so I was just annoyed. And then he was like, can I do something? Can I drive? Can I move the car or whatever? And I was like, no, I want to move it. And so it was like, well, ma'am, you're kind of messed up right now. We just want them to take care of you, and we'll just move the car out of the way. And I was a little nervous because of a certain reason. But anyway, so I was just like, I was being a jerk, basically. And so they ended up, as I got out of the car, I realized something wasn't right. Like I couldn't walk right. And I was just like, no, I can't walk for real. And so I'm like limping. And in my mind, I'm like, what the hell could have happened? Did something hit my leg? I couldn't register in my brain what was actually going on in that moment. And ended up like limping all the way over to the fire truck. And I remember sitting on the front of the fire truck while they moved Blue Broken Foot over. Oh, I just realized Blue Foot broke over there too. Anyway, both of our right foot had an issue. Anyway, so I just heard when they moved all the glass crackling, and it's like, I was more pissed off about my car than I was about whatever happened to me. And so they ended up putting me on the gurney, and like when he went to grab my foot, it was like, ow. And so I started to realize something wasn't right. Something was broken in my foot, but I didn't know what. I just know that I couldn't walk right, and when you touched it, I wanted to kick you. So they took me to the hospital, and checked out everything. And the only thing that really was going on is like my face was all busted up, and that was from the airbag. And I don't know if I hit my face or what happened, but my I broke a bone in my foot, and so and I remember something hitting my foot, but I didn't know what that was. I didn't feel the pain of that breaking, but at the same time it was just like, oh, right, okay. I kind of have a faint memory of that. So I don't know if it was like a bolt or something, because like the blue hole right side was just bashed in, so anything could have broken, flew up in there. But it must have flew in from the pedal area, or something must have broken the pedal area, and basically something broke my bone. So anyway, yeah. So I ended up having to salvage everything I could from my vehicle and shipping all that shit back. I took my hammock right here. I took that with me. In my mind, I was going down PCH. I was just gonna chill on the beach for a little bit. Like, that was the experience that was my ideal experience. That's what we were gonna do. That's what we were setting out to do. It didn't go like that. Out in Arizona, what was I to say? My stuff. Okay, so while I was out there, my auntie, one of my close aunties, love that baby. She and I've been trying to release the guilt of this as well, but I realized after the fact, after it's too late, that I didn't call her for Christmas. I was out in the desert by myself for Christmas. Like, that was my Christmas. I didn't. It's a lot that goes into that, but of course, again, I chose to go out there. I was actually trying to avoid Christmas. That was the first Christmas since I got divorced, and yeah, I was just trying to avoid Christmas. I wanted to avoid family. I just didn't want to be around anybody, and I didn't want the questions. I didn't want the word Sade. Sade was my ex-wife. I didn't want any of that. I just didn't want to deal with none of that. And so that's why I decided to that was a part of why I decided to do it. And just be on my own. Just go find my way. Go find me. So I didn't call her on Christmas. I felt terribly bad. And the next day, they were, called me saying that she had gotten really sick. And I mean, she had already had her own set of problems that she already had going on. And so, and she was like weak, her breathing was short, her blood pressure was low, things like that. And I was just like, no, she's gonna be okay. And so, and my promise to her was, I'm coming back. Like, don't worry about it. I'm gonna be fine. You just stay strong, and I'll be back. I promise. Like, she was an auntie that she was in a nursing home, but I just did my best to make sure that she knew that we had her back, or at least somebody had her back. So I'm not saying I'm the only one. I'm just saying overall that she was supported. She wasn't alone, and I did my best to try and make sure that life happens and you forget to do things. It's usually just fix it, or just do it when you remember. And yeah, I never got to fix that one. So I've been doing my best to be more mindful, more present with my family as much as I can. I may not still always cut it as I need to, but I just do my best. But yeah, I don't want this to keep getting too much longer. But my auntie, she passed. She passed while I was out there, and so I had to. My aunt who was her number one lookout. She helped me get a flight home so that I could make sure I was there, so I could be there. She wanted to make sure I was there. It's my little baby. So yeah, ended up getting back over there. I can't remember how this came up, but Oh, I know how. Because when I left, I parked my car in one of those where you could, when you're traveling, where you could park your car so you can make sure it was straight and not bothered with, or in a place where you don't have to keep paying for parking, things like that. And so, and I didn't just want to leave it on some random street, things like that. You just never know. And especially with all my shit being, I'm thinking if it's in a parking lot, then it's secured. You know, it's good. I came back and my whole bag was ripped off of my car. All of my shit was out of it. Like, they didn't break into it, gratefully, because a lot of my stuff was in there. But everything that was in that bag was completely gone, except for my hammock. I still got my hammock. That was up there. There's a few other things that they left, but most of it was honestly clothes that they took. And so I'm like, if it was someone homeless, or someone without a home, maybe they needed those clothes more than I did, and it's okay. Like, I didn't need all that shit anyway. I do think they took some dirty clothes, so probably drawers. I don't know what to tell them about that part, but yeah, they got me for a couple of my hoodies, some shorts, jeans, things like that. Honestly, some things I thought they had, they didn't, because I had them inside the car. But yeah, so shit happens. You just roll with it. I was disappointed. I was for sure disappointed when I walked up to the car and realized that they ripped my bag off. And I was like, wow. You're not exempt, my nigga. You may be here, you may be chosen, you may be called to do what you need to do, but you're not exempt. And again, you probably didn't even need that shit. Let them have it. It is what it is. They could have just asked. I probably would have given it to them. But yeah. Anyway, so other than that, the shit that I did have left, after I figured out how to pack it all in my car and still have room to sleep in my car when I needed to, I had to figure out how to ship all of that shit back. I ended up giving a lot of it to the people who towed my car. I gave them a whole bunch of shit, like to them and their son, and so. But the stuff that I did have to ship back that cost me a good damn near $800 to get back. So yeah, it was a lot. But I ended up getting back here. I'm back. I'm here. I've been working. Been working on me. Been working on putting myself out there. I'm glad I finally got this out. Like, I finally got this out. To kind of like bring y'all back in, let you know what is going on. And anybody who picks up to this point, who's just starting, I appreciate you being here. Anybody who's coming back to share this journey with me, I'm still going to post all those things. I'm going to post all the different experiences I do have. I'll be posting in separate videos. I'm trying to decide to keep this short and sweet. But it's about that time. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. So I probably need to get some sleep at this point. Gratitude for anyone who's listening. Thank you for being here. If you're going to be here with me, rock with me. I appreciate you. Enjoy your night. Yeah.